All right. Hi, everybody. Giana here on, it's Sunday. It's a nice, lovely Sunday afternoon. I have my pals Donny and Albert here with me, and I think we just wanted to get together and tell you a little bit about the music video for my latest version of Magic that's going to be released this week. Albert and I worked on two versions of the song, the original one that was fully produced and it was released in February a few months ago. So go check that out if you haven't already. And then Donny jumped on board after we created this acoustic version of the song. And I think he, from our conversations before, he appreciates the singer-songwriter side and the more raw, authentic version that Albert pulled out from it. And so we just wanted to share a little bit of the behind the scenes, a little bit about how things are made creatively, sonically, and now visually with Donny's input. And we'll go from there. So guys, let's talk a little bit about our friendship. First of all, we met each other like a decade ago, I think. Albert, I think I met you in like 2009 or 10. Yeah. And then Donny, I met you, I think, after my album release was either 2011 or 2012.
Well, Albert, what's the story? Do you remember when, where?
You know, I don't remember the initial moment, but I do remember it was either backing up my brother. I was probably backing up my brother for a show or with a band or something like that. And we met each other at one of these events or something like that. I think that was the genesis point. But we played some shows together, and and like that was I remember that time really fondly. It was a very pure time. It was so exploratory and so joyful. Yeah. But it was way back when I was still playing with the band. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I had just jumped into music from my previous career in healthcare, and so I think it was very fortuitous for me to actually meet nice people and
mutual
to keep me in the game and feeling like there is something meaningful behind these connections. And then Donny, I think we met. I don't know if we actually.
I remember the exact moment.
Wow.
Like,
okay.
It was at I think it was an event, and I think it was the Vietnamese Film Festival, maybe some kind of event. It was some kind of event, and you were playing piano, and I was like, whoa! And then I was like, I seriously was like, I want to work with her, like some in the future somehow. So when they're good, someone's good when you're like, oh, I want to listen and work. And after that, I think I got to know you and then listen to your music. And I always liked all of it. I was like trying to be like the first one to download anytime the song came out. I was like, boom. And I'd send the receipt. I'd send the receipt. Appreciate that. I would send the receipt and be like, boom, downloaded, purchased. Like, yeah. I was like a fan. I was a fan first. So that was kind of cool.
Aww.
Yeah.
That makes my heart so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, like it took us a decade to actually all work together. And so even though I knew both of you guys from way beyond, like years ago, this is the first time that I worked with Albert on something, and then this is the first time I worked with Donny on something, and then the three of us in a collaborative effort. And so I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, Donny, you had some really exploratory questions of me in the song when we had like a little car ride. Actually, let me just tell everybody that we were able to pull this off the weekend before everything started shutting down. I think it was the first weekend in March that we all got together at Albert's studio.
Yeah.
And then we shot it there, and then
remember the day we shot it?
I think it was like March 6th or something.
Wow.
And then and then Friday the 13th hit, and then everything started like, we're closing down. Schools are closing. Friday the 13th, literally. So we did it just in the nick of time. And so that was just, I think, really like great timing, and thank God we did it.
Yeah. No, totally.
Yeah.
And like looking back on that little bit of footage and those photos and those stills, it almost feels like it's from another era, you
I
know?
know.
It's like, oh yeah, we
I
were all
know.
there just hanging out, just doing whatever.
We were in
never
the
be
same
able to
room.
hang out again.
Yeah.
We didn't even have masks on.
I know.
Yeah, free mask.
Oh God. Yeah, and then so on the car ride up, Albert, Donny and I had just like really good conversation about the process of music making and songwriting, and I think it would be nice for our listeners and our friends and family to hear a little bit of that, and then get to know the humans behind the creative stuff.
Perfect.
Yeah. So Donny, do you want to like ask some probing questions that Albert and I can maybe answer, and then we're gonna flip the script and we're gonna ask you, Mr. Director, Mr. Director of the music video.
Yeah. Well, let's start with the meaning of the song, and then we'll go into the production. I was curious about that and how it all. What's the origin of the lyrics? What's the workflow, the process of the lyrics, and then handing it to Albert?
Wow. Okay. Oh, that's good. Okay. So this song was like 3 years in the making. I had originally had the idea for the chorus of it first, and just kind of just recording it on my iPhone and just in the voice memo. And then all I had was that chorus for years. And then finally, I tried to write it a couple of times throughout the years, and it just, I don't know, it just never felt right, and it wasn't like jiving and clicking. And then last summer, around August, was when I decided to like sit down again, and I forced myself, like, you're gonna sit down, you're going to write this song like with intention rather than waiting for inspiration to hit or when I felt like it. I intended to, and I remember the day I was like, okay, I'm gonna get through all my piano lessons, and then I'm gonna close the studio at night, and I'm just gonna sit down and write this song. And so that's when the verses came together. And then I think I walked away from that writing session. I was like, hey, I have a song. It's no longer just an idea. It's a song that I can get behind. And then I reached out to Albert. I was like, Albert, I have this thing. And I think you're the guy to make it sound like a better thing. I hadn't completely written it yet. There was still a bridge that needed to be fleshed out, but I had the verse and the choruses and the concept, and I just needed to meet with Albert and just really flesh it out. And then he took over, and it became this thing that I'm just so happy with. So Albert, tell us.
Well, on my part of the story, where it came to me, first off, I didn't know the story of how you had written it in pieces like that and sat down to flesh it out that evening. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And I know that this, like, you came to me with a song, and there was this narrative of it being almost like reclaiming the song for yourself again, and making it yours, and having it be your story for who you are right now. And yeah, we sat down with it, we listened to it, we fleshed it out a bit. We worked on that bridge, we kind of tightened up a couple things, cut and snipped, and kind of made it like into one big flow. I remember that.
Yeah.
But you came in with like a really, just across the entire process, you came with a really clear vision. I think you were dreaming of what you wanted it to be. You knew exactly. And I feel like I really kind of came in as a way to like take some of those ideas and try and make them real, or like real ideas to interact with, to say like, oh, that's not quite it, or this is more it, which was super fun. It was super fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, you came in with a song, and it was just a couple weekends. right? We had like, because we were trying to work out our schedules, and so we had only had a couple weekend days that we kind of sat down with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay. Yeah, and I'm
trying to remember. Oh, go ahead.
I remember like the first time that, because I brought, all we had was piano and vocals when I sent it to you. I had no idea what I wanted the beat to be. All I had was like the mood, the vibe that I wanted. And that was all I could give you was just, here's what I wanted to feel like. Can you interpret these feelings? And you totally nailed it. And I remember the first time that you sent it back to me, like, here's just like a rough draft. What do you think? And I was like, oh my God, I love it. It's, it was like, it's just really rewarding and fulfilling and meaningful when an idea that stems from your brain and your heart is becoming this tangible thing that is audible and can now be translated and shared, and it's alive. And it was just like a really great feeling that picking you to do the project and then you delivering it, like, it was just really great. It was magic.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Do you guys still have the original first version of just like draft, not before the draft, just like?
I have it. I still have on my phone the original one.
We should listen to it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
From the beginning to the final, the first corn. What do you call it? The nugget.
The kernel.
The kernel. The nugget, and then to the end.
Yeah, I do have the like because they're all on my iPhone, and it's just transferred over. I got a new phone anyway. So yeah, it like I have the original part when I'm like just singing into it, like ooh, and then when I sat down and recorded the first version that I sent to Albert, and then we have files that maybe I can share.
Definitely we can always pull those up.
This is where I edited in, by the way. I'm gonna edit this together. When I said I could put it in there.
Yeah, that's fun.
I can put a music video before, we play.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Or at the end. Yeah.
I was thinking about that original, like, there was a lot of movement from the piano, and then we really cut away a lot of that. Mm-hmm. And we made a lot of space for a lot of the sounds, because I know you had talked a lot about, wanting these heartbeat sounds and these floating blips and bloops and things. And we kind of cleared out a little room to let those things exist in there.
Yes. Yes, I said I wanted things to swirl. Make it swirl, Albert.
Swirl, that was it. Yeah. The swirl. The shimmer and swirl were words that came.
How do you interpret that into a sound is like the cool part.
We did it together.
Yeah.
It's like more shimmer. Okay, more shimmer.
Yeah,
it's like more feeling. Just turn up the feeling.
Yeah, can you find that knob?
Yeah.
Sorry, do you guys hear the helicopter flying over my... No? Oh, cool. Zoom is great.
Yeah.
Oh, there's your audio thing that you're talking about.
Yeah. Zoom doing its thing. So yeah, and then, you know what? When I played it for Donny when he had just moved back into Southern California from out of state, we finally made time to like sit down together and catch up in person. And then I told him, hey, I am actually working on a new song with my friend, and I hadn't worked with him before, but I think it's really cool and special, and I'm excited about it. And then Donny was like, yeah, let me hear it. And I hadn't released it yet. And so I sent you the file, Donny, and then.
Yeah, I listened it to my car, and I listened a few times, but production value was amazing, and it had that, I didn't have the shimmer word, but it was very like heavenly, cloudy, yellows, kind of, up there, a lot of feels. You could tell that it's personal. But what's funny was the lyrics, when I listened to it, it was, and then I was thinking about past stuff, right? So if you're thinking about other things, it's even more emotional, right? So now you're relating, I'm relating her song to my own stuff. And so, I mean, it was like super, super personal. So listening to it was really, really good. So, but the production, and I told her right away, I could hear the heartbeat kind of, thing in the background.
Yeah, I didn't even say that. And then he's like, yeah, I heard the heartbeat. I was like, yay, you understood.
Yeah. I mean, I really like the production of it. Really, really amazing. Yeah.
See, that is what makes creating music like so magical to me. It's like, of course as a musician, I already make music. I sing to myself and I play to myself all day. But like if I wanted to connect with somebody else, that's the process of recording and releasing music, is just to connect with others who may have had similar experiences, and to have you say that you connected it to your own experience is like perfect for me.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about you. I was thinking my own stuff, and I was listening. I was
oh
like,
no,
out here.
Yeah, I was like wrapped in listening to it. Yeah. But then later, when you told me the background of it, because when you just listen to because I'm a lyrics guy, I just listen straight to the lyrics. When you listen to lyrics, it's like we're opposites, but we're together, kind of, right? We're kind of opposite. And I think a lot of people can relate. Like, I'm like this, they're like this. I'm like this, but somehow we fit.
Yeah, the dark and light, the yin and yang of energies, and how when you meet somebody who has the opposite energy of you, and how you kind of meet in the middle, and it's interesting, it's magical, it's kind of like I don't know, it's like magic.
Yeah.
You can't really put your finger on it. When you see magic, you really are just sitting there in awe, and then you're just experiencing it, but you can't describe it. You can't, and really, you don't want to pull back the curtains, really, right?
Totally.
Because then that would just, it would, I don't know.
And when I first listened to it, was the acoustic version already in the works?
No,
Really?
that was like a last minute thing. I was like, I think it would be really nice to have a second version, and maybe highlight more of the song behind the singer-songwriter aspect of an actual song. Because a lot of times when you hear produced songs, it's like you're feeling the vibe, you're feeling the beat, you hear all of the sounds surrounding it. But when you strip away everything, that's when you really, like you said, like connect to the lyrics and really listen to what is the song saying. And I think Albert, as a listener, you did like a fantastic job of just highlighting the three components that we had in that song. All we had was vocals, the acoustic versions, vocals, guitar, and piano.
Is that common, Albert, to do that, to get like the good?
Oh, well, I feel like it depends, but it worked really well for this song. Like the spirit of it really translated. I know Giana came by and gave this really fantastic, piano performance that kind of tied the whole thing together. It allowed it the whole journey.
That was the only thing we retracked.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think that was what was cool about it, is that it remained flexible, right? It wasn't something that was really, that without the production, without, the fireworks and the light and smoke and magic, or just the smoke. Like, it still remained emotional. It still had its energy. And so it's a sometimes treat, and we got to enjoy it.
Yeah. And then, so Donny, when you and I started talking about working together, and then this song came about, you were like, yeah, I'm on board. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Tell us about how, I the way we set it up is that I told you I wanted it to just be like organic and just feel authentic, and then nothing with crazy production or sets and things. I just wanted to show the song the way it was made, which was right in Albert's little studio, in that cozy little space. So tell us how you worked out the angles and captured things in that little room.
Well, first,
miraculously the weekend before we closed down.
Yeah. First, I really like acoustic versions. Like personally, when I go to YouTube and I find an artist, I find their acoustic version, right? And then I'll listen even to people's cover song. The thing is, you hear the song so many times, you want to hear something different, right? You could hear like a pop song like a million times on the radio, and so I just do acoustic because that's the one that you don't really hear, so it's kind of like more rare. And then there's an artist named because I worked in Spanish TV, it was like Julieta Venegas. She's a really good artist. I think she's from Mexico City or something like that. But her she'll do the same thing, and she'll have some live, and acoustic versions. And I mean, they're like black and white, and they're just really, really good. Like kind of like the music stripped away. And then, my part was the easy part. You guys already did the production stuff. We tried different areas of the studio, the space, and we shot it 3 times in the daytime and like 3 or 4 times at night because the sun went down. It looked like a studio space, and it looked kind of real, totally real. Nothing was fake about it, and that was the space it was recorded, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of cool. It wasn't like a different studio, or anything. It was where the magic happened.
We only had the additional mood of the fantastic candles.
Yeah.
My little battery operated candles, courtesy of Costco.
Those are great.
Yeah. And then battery operated twinkly lights. I'm a fan of twinkly lights. I just obsessed with them, and I think it really works with magic. Sparkles.
Yeah.
It's a shimmer.
It's a shimmer. Yeah.
And it had a good little natural light coming in. We had a little white there, and when the lyrics was like light and dark, and it kind of fit. And the space was nice. It was cozy. And I think of the little tiny, what do you call those tiny concerts? What do you call that on NPR?
Oh, tiny desks.
Tiny what?
Tiny desks.
Yeah. And they have little concerts in the little office kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, you really hear how nice it sounds, how good it sounds. So yeah, no, it was I didn't know what to expect in the space, but it was a lot of wood, a lot of grays. I think you wore what would you say the coloring of your
like a peachy top.
Yeah, so everything fit pretty good. I think you wore kind of like jean or blue kind of.
That seems likely.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, everything fit really good. But yeah, I think I have the easy part. You guys are. The production part was just amazing.
Well, you were working really hard, man. You were like,
yeah. Well, my camera is like 10 years old, so now there's like these kind of, like I said, these 10,000, 5,000 crazy, But this camera is stripped down, so you really just get kind of like a certain look and a certain style,
It looks great. It looks fantastic.
Yeah. I really liked how it turned out. And the thing about music videos, which I went to this class in like UCLA music director, it was like who did like Britney Spears and like Bush. Well, no, not Bush. Who did Loser? What's that? Who did that song Loser? Beck. And he was like, it doesn't matter how the video is. If the song isn't good, it's not going to go anywhere, right? It's all, basically the music video director was like, it's all about the song. The video enhances it, but it's all about the song. It doesn't matter. And then, wait.
On that note, have you guys heard the term "you can't polish a turd"?
Yeah, or lipstick on a pig or something.
Sorry.
But I personally, because of I'm biased with acoustic, I personally really like the acoustic version. So getting to work on that was like even cooler, you know. And when I was doing research on the video, I was watching all your videos. And what's funny is the first time, you know, I think we right away we always talk about, oh, let's do something together, right? Let's shoot a video, like 10 years, 7 years, whatever. Like let's do something.
Long time ago.
And then you worked with Stefan Gouger.
Yeah.
Video and the actress on there is like Chantal, who's like on like Netflix or whatever.
Yeah, she's done a lot of work. Chantal and oh gosh, I forgot his name, but the other actor's name. He's done a lot of work too.
Yeah.
Joel. And so yeah, it was very cool. And then of course Stefan, we've lost him. Rest in peace, a kind-hearted man. But I was very, very lucky, and I met him through Vit Film Fest as well.
Yeah.
And
So
you know, he's done some big projects, and so
Oh, yeah.
for him to like say yes to little old me at that time, who had just put out a little EP, was just very it was nice. And I'll always have that time capsule of working with him in that music video.
So I know Stefan. I talk to him all the time. And when I was like, hey, let's work on a music video, and then but we never, I wasn't there and this and that. And then I see your video come out. I'm like, whoa, Stefan, and then Chantal. So it was kind of cool. And then looking back while researching your videos to see what it looked like, it was cool watching, all these things. So yeah, maybe future Albert will be on Netflix. So whoever's involved will be.
Yeah.
It's like future stars.
Yeah. Stick with me, kid. You're gonna make it. Yeah.
I'll be cast as guy watching TV. Number two.
Number two. I was number 2 in one of the movies. I did. I was
really.
I was Pirates of the Caribbean. I was bathhouse guard number 2.
That's it.
What?
That's it. We got that. Yeah, we got that corner.
We got number 2 down. Yeah.
I would love to get any of my songs on film, TV placement. So if anybody who has connections right now listening, that's like the ultimate thing, right, Albert? It's like a placement somewhere.
That'd be fantastic.
That would be goals. Yeah. Okay. So I think just to wrap up the conversation, the music video is the music video and the song will be released this Thursday, May 21st. So everything's already uploaded. It's just gotta, they're just gonna push the button on the release at 12 a.m. and then everybody will get to experience this. And just from a personal note, I'm really, really grateful to you guys for coming on board with me. I think a lot of this is, we're here as creatives. We never talk money. We're not here to get rich. We're not here to become world famous. That's not the thing that we're chasing. I think it's just the spirit of collaboration and being creative. Even right now, when we are apart, I think is just really meaningful to me, and I can't wait for people to see and hear your work, because really the idea comes from my head, but you guys brought it to life, and for me to be able to share it with everybody else is because of you. So thank you for your work and your kindness and your generosity of talent.
Cool. Well, it was because of you starting it, I think. So thank you for getting us involved. The little colonel.
I agree. That's completely mutual. And, I think, so many times, when we're imagining and making things, we can feel like so alone in our own worlds,
Mm-hmm.
and the world seems so big. And so moments like this where, you can thread a group of people over a decade of time to share in the making of something is, I feel very grateful. I feel very thankful to spend time with you all, to have spent that like fantastic day, a good day of work, a nice evening of tacos.
Yes, those tacos, so good.
and then now to like, you know, with all of this distance to still get to share in it. So I feel very grateful. Thanks for bringing us in and for having me along for the ride. It's been great.
This was a 10-year. So Giana, this was a 10-year project from the beginning.
Sure. Yeah. Let's call it that. It's like a decade in the making.
Yeah.
7-year project. It's like a movie. A movie takes like 7 years sometimes to get like development. You know, you get stuck in development, and then it gets.
Oh my
made.
God!
Good things.
Here we are. Let's see
time.
how we do. Yeah.
Now I got a quick.
All right. Well, thanks.
I got a quick question, real quick. Is we talked about a lot of the production stuff, a little bit of it, but I mean, I could edit this out, but how do you want to talk about the meaning of it? Or is that too personal? You won't want to talk about that, right?
The meaning of the song?
Yeah. Like,
well,
if you ask, like, what's the lyrics? What's it mean? Is it, you'd probably just keep it generic?
Well, you know, yeah, you can tell it or not. You don't have to, you know.
Yeah.
I can tell you that it did stem from a relationship, and it was a very meaningful relationship to me. And I still look back on it fondly, even though it's now a thing of the past. But I think through the process of this, it somehow helped me detach those feelings from a person to really just reclaiming it as a feeling that I had, the feelings that I had with it. And then just, and funny how time does things, and like when you meet new people, and then also experiencing it with a different person, and then just knowing how the magic is really in the feeling that you share with other humans. And it could have stemmed from one person, but that it could be, I don't know, not transferred, but reimagined and felt and lives on in other human experiences. And so I think it's just the feeling of really connecting with another soul is what the theme behind magic is. And I think everybody has their own definition of that magical feeling. And they have, you know, if I ask you guys, have you felt magic? Does it make you think of a person? Does it make you think of a few people that you've experienced it with? And I'm sure you guys could say yes, right? And so I think that's just the story behind the song. Is just like, I think we're all on this planet to really connect as humans. That's the whole story behind everything. For me personally, it's all about the heart, and songwriting is when my mind and my heart sits down together and just has a conversation. And so I'm lucky that it came out into something and that everybody can hear it and enjoy it now and maybe relate it to their own lives. But I think it's just the journey of experiencing magic and knowing that it doesn't have to end with any person, and that it's just like this ongoing lifetime experience. And I think that's the magic behind magic, right? It's an everlasting thing.
Cool. That was great.
That was unedited. Here we go. Let's just let it go.
That'd be a good podcast. That was good. Yeah. Like I said, that when I listened to it, it was very, very personal for me. And then I could even see this as like it sounds cheesy, and I don't know if you like hearing that. It was like I could see wedding songs, like people playing this in their wedding. It's very, very personal.
I'm all for it.
Touching. Yeah. So
I would love that. I would love that. Guys, if you guys are gonna have weddings out there in the world, and you have your first dance.
Yeah.
If you can have a wedding, people can't have weddings right now. It's just so sad. It's so sad.
Zoom weddings.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah.
It's just all about love, you guys. Love for humans, love for connection, and just soak up those feelings. All right, you guys. Thank you so much.
That was good.
Oh, yeah. Great job on the video. It looks fantastic.
Thank you.
Yes.
Great job on production. Great job on the singer-songwriter. It really was. It all really did come together. I'm really proud of it. At first, I'm very like, I wish I could get a better shot, like I was kind of, and then as it comes together, you start liking everything. You're like, even the little things that you wish you did better, you're like, it's okay, you know. It's like humans, we have nothing's 100% perfect, right? And then you just gotta love the thing. And I'm like, I'm proud of being part of it. So I was like, oh man, I'm really happy that brought me in for both you guys, like production and the production side, and listening to the lyrics and the songwriting. So yeah, really, really amazing.
Yay!
We should
Yay!
keep it up.
All right. All right, you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care, you all. Be safe. See you soon.
Later.
Bye.